Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. I just want to give you a little look into the process of how I put one of these books together. The first thing is the ideas, and that's where the sketchbook comes in. You might have seen, I showed you a little bit of my sketchbooks before, but what I do is I carry around one of these. I have a whole bunch of these sketchbooks. I usually have one in my my backpack, or wherever I'm going, I take it with me. And that's where you can write down all the ideas. So I just sketch down just ideas that I have, story ideas, little sketches. I'm not concerned about how nice the image looks. I'm just more concerned about, getting the idea down. And what I'll do is little images will pop into my head, as you can see, and I'll come back to these for the final illustrations. So a lot of times, I'll write down. I have everything. I have multiple ideas, sketches. Sometimes I sketch my kids, whatever. I'm not really concerned about how nice it looks, though. It's just a dump for ideas. There's some of the first drawings I think that's the very first drawing of Copycat ever done, and then I was with my kids and they were drawing along with me. So it's sometimes fun to draw with the kids too. So once I've written this story, what I've did with Copycat, because it's a children's book, it's a little bit different than the comic books that I do. I started to get 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, and I just drew out the story on just different illustrations that I wanted. I had a little chart of where I wanted each page number along with the story. But I drew them out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Now this is a printout of one. What I did is I scanned the 8.5 by 11 pencil sketches into the computer. I added some text, and then I just shifted the drawings around as I needed it. Some of them, this one I don't think changed too much. Some of them will. I have a bunch of these that I used. So this one here changed quite a bit, but so I just draw out little bits. When I printed them out onto these are printouts, and what I would do is I'd color the back of the page so that I can transfer it onto illustration boards. So these are the illustration boards where I would do the final inking. It's was this Bainbridge Hot Press 172 illustration boards. So I do all my inking. I find these take the ink really well. So what I would do before, I have my printout, I color the back, I lay it over top. This is a blank illustration board. I lay it over top and I redraw it on. What that does is it transfers the pencil onto the illustration board. So that now I have the pencil drawing on my illustration board and it's ready to ink. Now, one stage before I actually print these things, what I did is I took all the pencil drawings and the original pencil drawings on 8.5 by 11 paper, just rough sketches. I shrunk them down and I scanned them and I made a little mock-up book so I knew what it would look like, so I could see how it flipped and read through. For some reason I can't find it here. I cleaned my office. I know, it's amazing. It used to be way messier than this. But I cleaned my office, now I can't find anything. So I made a little mock-up book. That's really important, just to see how it flows. And once I made the mock-up, from there I printed out these on 8.5 by 11. Again, any tweaks that I wanted to do in Photoshop I did. And then it's time to transfer it onto the illustration board. So once you get the image transferred onto your illustration board, it's time to ink. So I like to ink with a fountain pen. This one's a Pelican pen, and I find it really, really nice to draw with. I also use other pens as well. Sometimes I use these Rotary Art pens. I usually make a lot of mistakes, so you can't erase ink, so use whiteout to erase any mistakes that you do make. But then that's what they look like when they're all inked. So once I have the inking done, it's time to scan this into the computer, once again, and all the coloring was done in Photoshop. So I'll show you that right now. Okay, so once I scan the drawing into the computer, this is the image that I have. I'll crop it to the right size. And then the first thing I do is I duplicate the line layer, and I adjust the contrast. I clean it up. I get rid of all the little specks, all the little dirt and stuff, and I'll adjust the levels so that I get a nice clean black and white image. I put that image on multiply. If you can see, this image is on multiply, so that when I start coloring, I can start adding layers of color underneath. So you can kind of see. It's a back and forth process, but lots of layers. Right, until the image is done. From there, you can see, if we open up Bridge, I have all my pages in here, so you can go through the pages. I can't show you them all, but I'm not worried about all the crop lines yet. I'll do that after. So once I color all the pages in Photoshop, I have to lay it out. I used InDesign to lay out this book. Alright. So this book was a real learning process for me, because I had never used InDesign before. For my comic books, I've just sent them PDFs and they set it up. So this was a good learning experience. So you import the Photoshop file into InDesign, and then you can lay out your text the way you want it. So you can lay out the book here. So you basically lay out everything here. I don't want to give anything away. Can't go too far. So once this is all laid out the way you want it, then you can go back, you export these into PDFs, and the PDFs is what gets sent to the printer. So that's the general process that I used for making this book. Thanks for watching. Remember, we have 7 days left on this Kickstarter campaign. If you haven't gotten your book yet, please jump on board, grab a copy. If you have, thanks so much. Don't forget to share this link. Share the Kickstarter link to everyone you know. Remember, everybody who backs this book will have their name printed on the inside of the book on a special thank you page. So if you're on the fence, just remember, you can have your name in print. Everyone for generations and generations to come will know that you helped back this book. You were there right at the beginning. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. Bye.